Hey everybody, it is Tea Time with the Diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're gonna get into it. This tea time is dedicated to Jay-Z and Tony Buzbee, the lawyer. This thing is a whole hot mess. I think in general. Well, before I get into that, let me say what this is about. This is about Jay-Z's lawyer saying that an anonymous person called them a female and said that pretty much they was an ex-client of Tony Buzbee, but when they told Tony their story about being trafficked, they claimed that Tony Buzbee wanted them to turn it into a Diddy situation, to say that Diddy is the one that did this to them. Diddy shoved substances. I'm saying substances because I don't want to say the other word, but you know what I'm talking about. Down her throat and then armed her. And she said because she didn't want to lie, they dropped her. So now Jay-Z's lawyers is adding this to their declaration, to their court papers, to prove in their mind that Tony Buzbee is a whole fraud and a liar. Tony Buzbee is muddying the waters, but before we even get to that of him muddying the waters, I think that they need to change the way you can file a civil lawsuit. The burden of proof in civil lawsuits is very minimum, and I think that they need to change the rules on these civil lawsuits that you won't be able to even entertain the craziness of like Tony Buzbee. So Tony Buzbee, he knows that it's easy with a civil lawsuit, especially when you got a target like Diddy. If you get 50 people to come and say Diddy did it, first of all, the public is going to just automatically believe it. And if you make it salacious enough, they're really going to believe it. And if you add the blueprint that everybody's been saying that he gave me something to drink, I got woozy. Next thing you know, I woke up, he was in front of me. He did this, he did that, he did XYZ. And the whole world is like, yep, that sounds like Diddy. And this person could be lying or telling the truth. So now, I've been saying this for a minute now. Tony Buzbee being greedy, going after Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what Jay-Z did or did not do, right? But him being greedy, going after Jay-Z, trying to get a big payday from Jay-Z. Now he's indirectly helping Diddy, the one he was trying to sink, because he's being proven as a liar. Let's get into this story. And even if Tony Buzbee is telling the truth, it doesn't matter. Once your name is mud, it's hard to correct it. So Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, claims Busby tried to coerce a woman into false allegation. Busby calls it ridiculous. So Jay-Z staying on the offensive against attorney Tony Buzbee, informing a judge there's a reason to believe Buzbee is pressuring potential clients to make false allegations in lawsuits. This is sickening. Okay. Look at Alex Spiro. Shout out to these lawyers who got these big clients and who are rolling in the dough. Now listen, they went to school for this. In my next life, I may go to law school. I don't know. Jay's attorney, Alex Spiro, says a woman reached out to his firm, Quinn Emanuel, on Monday night to share her experience with Busby firm. According to a declaration filed Tuesday morning in a federal court, one of Spiro's associates says she got a phone call from the woman who said she previously contacted Busby firm seeking representation over allegations of trafficking and abuse. The woman said she reached out to Busby because she seen his solicitation for anyone who may have been a potential victim of Sean Diddy Combs, but she made it clear her allegations were not related to Diddy. Despite that, she claims the Busby associates asked, "At what point did you meet Diddy?" She also claims Busby's firm pressed her to file a lawsuit anonymously and also discouraged her from filing a criminal complaint. This is a mess. She claims she felt directed and coached by Mr. Busby firm to say that someone held her down and put substances in her mouth when that was not her experience. Let's listen a little bit of TMZ here.
It's a good thing
I was going to say,
take the bet yesterday because we were talking about the fact that the Mufasa premiere was happening on Monday night.
Yeah.
Beyonce and Blue Ivy are in the movie, so everyone was wondering if they would show up. And I said, no way.
Right.
There's no way after the day after these allegations against Jay-Z in the lawsuit where according to this accuser, she says that when she was just 13 years old, Jay-Z and Diddy drugged and raped her at a VMA after party back in 2000.
Right.
So
it's like the celebrity playbook, Charles, right? You lay low when something like this is happening.
Well, I think the defiant response that Jay-Z had to that lawsuit is exactly why you got this image on Monday night in Hollywood, which was the Carter family all standing there in unison.
Let me pause this for a minute. Blue Ivy is absolutely gorgeous, looking like a good mix of Jay-Z and her mother. Beyonce, she looks good. And to me, her body language was like, I'm okay. And she was celebrating her baby girl, Blue Ivy. Jay-Z did not look that good. Like when I say look that good, I don't mean physically or aesthetically. I'm talking about emotionally. He seemed very off. Now, Jay-Z is always very stoic, but there was body language going on here with me. If you ask me, y'all let me know your thoughts between him and Mama Knowles, which I'm surprised that Tina Knowles wasn't by Blue Ivy or in between Blue Ivy and Beyonce. But I felt like something was going on between Tina and Jay-Z. But am I making this up? Y'all let me know your thoughts. Let's continue.
Smiling for the cameras, taking photos at the premiere. They showed up in a big way. You know, you also could have thought that maybe Beyonce and Blue Ivy would go.
No way, Jay-Z though.
But Jay-Z was there.
Right. If
you see this picture with, of course, with him, his wife, and the daughter, you know, he got a little smile on his face. He's looking a little happier. I feel like something's going on between him and Tina. But listen, I could be putting 20 on 10. Okay, it happens sometimes. But this little mama right here, oh my God, she's gorgeous.
You don't think that's sending a message, and a loud and a crystal clear message, you're wrong.
Yeah, I guess it is in line with what he said in that very strong response on Sunday evening, that, you know, he's denied it. He says he's going to fight this.
Right.
And he is accusing Tony Buzbee, the attorney for the accuser, of extortion.
Right. I think if you thought these were just empty words, Charles, that makes it clear on that red carpet last night that it's not, and they are going to fight this. They're not going to shy away.
Yeah, I don't think it really leads us to know whether or not the allegations are true. It's independent of that. What you're seeing here is a very specific response by Jay-Z. There's no right way to respond to allegations like this. You do the best you can. And he's showing a united front with his family, showing up for his daughter. It's a very important day for her, obviously. And he's doing all these right things. Again, it doesn't mean that the allegations are true or not true. It just means that there's a specific way that he is responding to them.
Yeah. And by the way, the war between himself and Tony Buzbee, as Jay-Z promised he was going to fight against this guy, called him all sorts of names. It is going back and forth now. And Tony Buzbee is now saying, you remember in Jay-Z's response, he said, if this had happened, and he's denying it did, he said, if it did, you should get criminal charges filed. You should want someone who did this to your client to actually be in prison. And Tony Buzbee is at least thinking about calling Jay-Z on his bluff, telling us that it is up to his client, but the next move could be for her to actually file a criminal complaint.
Obviously now this is a civil lawsuit, and that would be something entirely different with a whole bunch more ramifications, not just money, if they did go to court.
And mindful that the alleged crime happened in 2000, but in New York State, there is no statute of limitations on first-degree rape, which it seems like from what they've described in the lawsuit is what the criminal charge would be. So
yeah,
that's the information I needed to know. So there's no statute of limitations on the R situation. Let's continue.
It seems like we're a long way away from criminal charges here. I mean, we have, I mean, just to even suggest that's what Tony Buzbee's doing, is suggesting it, but we're a long way away from that even being a remote possibility, I think.
Right. He would, she'd have to file the complaint, and then, you know, the police have to try to investigate. And the problem is it's been 24 years. Finding witnesses and evidence, it becomes very difficult. But at least Tony Buzbee is saying that's on the table. By the way, there was another filing this morning. Jay-Z, I think, as evidence that they are not going to let up off of Tony Buzbee. They filed a declaration. His attorney's firm, Quinn Emanuel, filed a declaration saying that they had spoken to a woman on Monday night, just last night, who claims that Tony Buzbee's firm forced her or tried to force her to make false allegations against Diddy. She
Wow.
said she had contacted them because she did have a case that she felt she had of sex trafficking, not involving Diddy at all. But according to her, and according to this declaration, which Jay-Z's attorneys have now filed in federal court, she told them that Tony Buzbee's associates tried to get her to say that it was Diddy and tried to get her to say that you were drugged
Wow.
and that you were
They
raped.
tried to shoehorn it into a Diddy case. I want,
And she denied that. And she
Right.
says once she wouldn't change her story, they dropped her as a client.
right, I wonder with Busby if he's just becoming too much of a distraction here.
He is.
Well, just we should say Tony Buzbee responded to that filing and told us that he called it ridiculous. He doesn't know who this person is that they're talking to. But he said yes, we get a lot of prank calls,
Right.
but we do not pressure anyone. We do not pursue cases. He said we have plenty of cases as it is.
My name is Kai, and I am from Florida.
So Spiro's, and this is Jay-Z's attorney associate, says the woman told her she felt forced to lie, and when she refused to change the story, she says Busby firm dropped her as a client. Spiro says the woman contacted his firm because she felt Busby's conduct discredit those who are legitimate victims. Of course, every liar discredits the legitimate victims, and she wanted to do so anonymously because she feared retaliation from Busby. Busby reaction to the declaration: this is so ridiculous. If someone calls our intake and has a viable case that we believe has merit and we can pursue, we will pursue it. We are currently pursuing hundreds of cases against individuals other than P. Diddy. What we won't do is pursue a case that we don't believe has merit. He says his firm gets lots of prank calls, and without knowing the name of the woman who called Jay-Z's attorney, I can't speak to what she told the intake folks to even tell you what this woman claimed if and when she called. But he says we certainly do not need to pressure anyone to pursue a case. Listen, this is a hot flaming mess. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this Jay-Z, Tony Buzbee, and Diddy situation. It's an intertwined hot mess, and all I can say is for sure, don't know. We're never going to know who's telling the truth because we wasn't there. But I will say this: Tony Buzbee is definitely muddying the waters, and he needs to go away. Him and his 120, 1,000, 2,000, 50 clients or whatever it is, he needs to go away because he seems like a liar. And it seems like he's just making a mess out of this thing. And I feel like he just wanted big paydays for himself. And I wonder, the paydays he already got, how much of that money his clients have seen. Listen, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.